Hi and welcome back to Still Sassy. Now picture this. When I was younger, I wasn't fazed by anything. I'd strop around in my Doc Martens and ball gown in Asda and have a great time doing it. I had opinions and wasn't afraid to voice them. But as I got older, took on more responsibilities and got more senior jobs with added expectations and more alpha male bosses, I started to blend the boundaries between what I wanted and what I thought I needed to do and be for other people. Yep, I became a people pleaser. As a qualified and accredited coach, I love working with women on their mindset. Often this involves the thoughts and behaviours that we build as defence mechanisms that end up holding us back. Being a people pleaser is one way we express this. Thankfully, we can do something about it. And in this video, I will help you identify if you are a people pleaser and give you 2 simple exercises to help moderate this behaviour and take more control of your life. Now, before I go on, if you're liking this video or any video that you've watched of mine, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe by clicking on the link below, and if you could like the video too, that would be amazing. Thanks so much. It really saddens me that so many women struggle with people pleasing because it can affect our lives so badly, forcing us into feeling second best most of the time. We stop valuing ourselves. What I find most though is that we don't even realise we've become people pleasers. Many don't even know such a thing exists. In their eyes, it's just how they are. They have no idea of how much they are compromising their life by giving way to others all the time. I'm not sure if there's any research to back this up, but people pleasing does seem to be a mostly woman thing. Men can be people pleasers too, of course, but the way men and women operate and manage hierarchies can be very different even after years and years of sexual equality. Maybe it's because of the role we play in life. Women still do a lot of the caring for family members or children. We are generally more supportive and sociable, and our social behaviours involve fitting in rather than standing apart. Whatever the reason, people pleasers think other people's needs are more important than theirs, and that's not good. You may or may not recognise yourself as a people pleaser, but if you are feeling that your life rarely works out how you plan it, or you can't find the time to do the things you really want to do, or have friends who walk all over you, then I'd say there's a good chance you fit the bill. As children, we all start out as people pleasers. When the world is much bigger and cleverer than us, we gain acceptance and attention by doing what the grown-ups want. It's just how it is. Then we get to be teenagers and we flip around 180 degrees and become people frustrators with our families, but still very much people pleasers with our peers. This is where we learn the value of fitting in at any cost. And then we have families of our own, and as parents it becomes our role to be the teacher and influencer to our kids as they grow up and do their best to please us. It all sounds so logical, so why as we get older do so many women revert to submissive behaviour and sacrifice what they really want in order to have an easy life? As a coach, I meet many women who struggle with this, and it breaks my heart to see it happening. And as we reach the 5th floor of life and beyond, we should be free of the egos and insecurities to be able to live life as we want to. So is this you? Are you recognising yourself as a people pleaser? I describe myself as a recovering people pleaser because it can be so easy to slip back into the old ways if you don't keep the momentum up. This is because tackling our people pleasing tendencies pushes us right outside of our comfort zone. If you've become the person that says yes to everything asked of you, rarely puts your needs first, or lets people step over your boundaries, it can feel quite strange to suddenly get assertive and say no when others have come to expect you to say yes all the time. I do realise, of course, that most of us live with other people and have families and responsibilities, meaning day-to-day compromise is essential, but that's not the same as people pleasing. So back to the question, are you a people pleaser and how would you know? Let's take a look at the evidence. A people pleaser is someone who tries hard to make others happy, regardless of how it affects them. People pleasers will go massively out of their way to do this, even if it means taking up time when they should be doing something else. They feel like they are being pushed around, taken advantage of, and are responsible for other people's feelings, and yet they still continue to allow it. In many cases, the people doing the pushing and taking advantage probably don't realise this is what is happening and would be horrified if they did. But us being so meek and compliant allows it to happen without them realising. Are you recognising yourself yet? Noticing you're doing this is the start of making the changes to manage it and live your life on your terms. Most people pleasers often feel lonely, insecure, have a chronic lack of self-esteem. They want those around them to be happy and to like them, and will do whatever it takes to try and make that happen. Saying yes becomes a habit that's difficult to break. Often it focuses around the constant validation they gain from people around them feeling happy because of something they've done. It makes them feel needed and useful with purpose. You can see how this is wrapped up with insecurities, lack of self-esteem and confidence. And you can also see how it becomes more prevalent as we get older, because it ties in with empty nesting and retiring from work. Yeah, those two things we've all got to look forward to, well, most of us anyway. Because you're always looking to please other people, you haven't got the time to do the things you want to do, or even the inclination. You are effectively putting all your own hopes and dreams on hold so you can make someone else's life a little bit easier. And that's so sad, especially as the other person would probably be mortified if they knew this was what's happening. Being a people pleaser is exhausting. Now let's take a look at the specific and very common examples shared by many of the clients I've worked with. Individually, these examples seem like small beer, but that's the point. We aren't really talking about grand gestures here, but smaller, repeat behaviours that add up and grind you down. Many people pleasers say yes to events when they don't want to go. They watch films they don't want to see because someone else does. How many more superhero, action or horror movies are you going to sit through when really you just want to curl up with a rom-com? That's small scale people pleasing right there. Another sign is saying sorry for even the smallest of things. Being 5 minutes late, for instance. It becomes a big deal because people pleasers think they've upset the person waiting. If you're 45 minutes late, yeah, then maybe an apology is needed. But 5 minutes? No, you don't need to apologise for that. How you write emails and craft phone messages is another sign. Do you say just a lot? I'm just asking, I just want to know, I was just wondering. That's a sign that you're not being assertive enough to ask for what you want. Instead, you are worrying about what the person thinks, the person receiving the message. Another sign is that you feel anxious that someone is upset or angry with you even when they're not. You assume that something you've done has annoyed them, so you worry about what they might think about you. You laugh at jokes you don't even find funny to satisfy the ego of the person telling the joke. You'll pretend you're interested even when you're bored. You give lots of eye contact and attention to someone you're not even really listening to. Now the next point is a big one. You break your values for others and then regret it. A value is something you believe in which is intrinsic to who you are. Someone you just met is being appropriate at work, maybe borderline offensive about something that matters a lot to you, but you don't say anything because you don't want to upset them or make them feel awkward. As people pleasing progresses, you worry that your opinions will be met with anger or disappointment, so you don't voice them. You start to believe you just have nothing to say, nothing useful anyway. And finally, you just can't say no, no matter how much your brain is saying, I don't want to do this, I haven't got the time, I won't enjoy it. Inside you're screaming, no, I don't want to do this, but you still find yourself saying, yes, of course I'll do it. So does any of this ring true for you? If so, what can you do about it? Thankfully, the answers are already there in your head, your past, and all that experience of being a capable, confident person that you used to have. But here are 2 simple exercises that will start you on the way to taking control of your people pleasing. Firstly, stop and take a moment when you'll find yourself in any of the situations we've just talked about. You could decide you're going to tackle one friend to start with. You don't have to do this all at once. Think about the right way to say no in a positive way. That thing that you were just asked to do you fancy it or not? If no, then just say no. You don't even need to give a reason if you don't have one. No is a very powerful word, and most people when they hear it will just accept it. Be bold, keep it simple, repeat after me, no, or maybe no thanks, or something equally short if you can't bear the silence, but mostly just no will do. If the answer is still going to be yes, then set some boundaries. What's your role? What's the timescale? And make a note that you might be asking for a favour in return. Think of the things on your to-do list that this person can help you with and ask them to help you too. Maybe even have the conversation about people pleasing with your friend who is always late. Don't be surprised if it turns out that they consider themselves as a people pleaser too, and be prepared that they might highlight some ways in which they try and please others, which maybe explains why they are always 5 minutes late. They're busy doing something for somebody else. The point is, like so many things, once it is out in the open, every problem becomes so much easier to solve. The second exercise is to counter the insecurities by analysing the outcomes honestly. You know you didn't really upset someone because, put simply, you didn't intend to. You've known this person a while and you have a relationship that would survive a badly written WhatsApp message or you being a few minutes late. Even simpler is to make sure you aren't late. Set off 10 minutes early. The point is that if you understand what causes the events that make you worried, then it can all be planned for and mitigated. Remove the cause and you can stop worrying about the symptoms. People pleasing is in your head, not theirs, and it's your positivity and decision to act that will fix it. Take responsibility for this and enjoy how your confidence starts to come flooding back. Being a people pleaser doesn't mean we don't want to help people and make our friends feel valued, but we should be saying yes because we really want to, not because we have to. Life is a compromise and we all give and take, but we should be confident in our relationships and ourselves that we can say no without causing any harm at all. What makes the difference is being able to say no in the right way so the other party understands why. And you can use your own newfound awareness to recognise people pleasing in others so you can help them manage it too. This in turn will bring tremendous benefits to your own confidence because dealing with people pleasing from both ends recognises it as habitual behaviour and helps you to reshape the habit with different behaviours. So I know I've gone through a lot there. I've talked about the symptoms of people pleasing and some ways that you can help yourself if you recognise yourself as somebody that always wants to please everyone else. If you've got any questions or any comments, please pop them down below in the comment section and I'll get straight back to you. I always answer every question. So thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.